Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is May 24th, 2017. We're matching in blue. Yeah. Although we're not blue, we're angry. We need to be wearing red.
I really appreciate, Caitlin, your article here. Lots of articles you've been sharing and writing lately. Why you should definitely keep talking about Seth Rich. The only thing I would change is the title, because I feel like it needs to reach people a little bit more. You need to be more like out there, like a tabloid, like we're all going to die.
That's a good title.
Because the article basically says that, because she goes on to say that we've got all these military operations happening all over the world, and the deep state wants war with Russia. Everyone is building up their arms. Even this whole Saudi Arabia. What's really cool, I'm going to get to Seth Rich, but I'm going to cover a story where Rand Paul is proposing in the Senate to have to vote on that $110 billion weapon thing to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Because the question is, why? Why do, Israel has so many weapons and Saudi Arabia has and they just keep getting more and more weapons, and what the article is about is, when you have the U.S. planes and the Russian planes flying over space in Syria, and one thing will lead to another, and suddenly you're at nuclear war.
Right.
And she goes on to say that every cell on the face of the earth could even possibly hinge on this young man's death. And so, yes, we have to look into the fact that there are...
Okay, new title. Why it is vitally important to our very existence that we keep talking about Seth Rich.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to read just some snippets from her article where she's talking about Seth Rich's parents have come out. And this is a whole conglomerate of a story of itself, because they came out recently and said, please stop using our son as a political tool, and basically we don't want to hear any more talk about our son. We don't want anybody.
But they're the ones that hired an investigator, and so I believe that they are being hugely misled and strong-armed by the left. The left is probably telling them, you are ruining everything.
Right. Their spokesman has huge ties to the Media Matter conglomerate, DNC, he calls himself a mouthpiece for progressive change and all these crazy things. He is a super left-wing spinner. But anyway, she goes on to say, Seth Rich's parents say, stop politicizing our son's murder. She says, I don't really know what is meant by the slogan about politicizing Seth Rich's murder, which mainstream outlets keep repeating. Because here's the thing, you'll find that you have people on the left and people on the right, the truthers who just want to know, who realize that this whole Russian hacking thing makes no sense. And
either Seth Rich was leaking things to WikiLeaks and he was murdered for it, or he wasn't.
Right.
So it's not a matter of politicizing anything. It's a matter of getting to the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts.
So all the Russian hysteria that has engulfed American discourse has actually placed all terrestrial life in grave danger. Dr. Stephen Cohen, easily the foremost American authority on U.S.-Russian relations, said in an interview with RT last week that this may be the most dangerous that tensions between the two countries have been in his lifetime, and he was born in 1938. I'm going to put a link to her article. Go ahead and read this and put the... When you have stories like this with the Seth Rich murder, you have to read all the different aspects, and you have to look at the elephant from all different angles, the trunk, the feet, the tail, and you have to put together what looks like a murder of a DNC staffer who gave these emails to WikiLeaks. It all points to that. Every road points to that. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and play this little montage, kind of a timeline. So I'm going to start back here. Timeline of Seth Rich's assassination. In February 22nd, 2015, John Podesta writes, I'm definitely for making examples of whistleblowers, even if there's no evidence. And then the 25th of 2016, the last date of emails and WikiLeaks dump of DNC emails, which will happen on July 22nd. And then on July 10th, 2016, officers report beginning of incident with Seth Rich, claim he is conscious and unaware he's been shot. Several officers are wearing body cams. Footage never released.
That's so crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
Then he was pronounced dead at 5:57 by an unknown physician, and
at an unknown hospital.
But actually, I'm going to show you a snippet of a doctor who said he was treating him and said it was really crazy.
Police call it a robbery despite nothing showing that he was missing anything.
And then Hillary uses her Seth's murder to advocate strict gun control. WikiLeaks releases, and then 22nd, WikiLeaks releases the DNC email database.
The 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered.
And then WikiLeaks decides to give a
$20,000 reward for the investigation into Seth Rich's murder.
And then in August, Guccifer 2.0 tells Robin Young that Seth Rich was his informant. DNC dedicates a bike rack to Seth Rich. And then this is the biggest one. So this is what has gotten Sean Hannity in some really deep fire right now.
Right.
Is Kim.com says, I knew Seth Rich. I know he was the WikiLeaks source. I was involved. And Sean Hannity says, you are the, because he says, I am the evidence. And Sean Hannity says, you are the evidence. And
can you explain that into more detail?
And things have just really blown up since then. Like,
right. That was like 4 days ago.
So Sean Hannity's pretty much, he's kind of like,
except for Hannity now has come back and is like pretty much saying like, well, out of respect for the family, I'm not going to talk about it.
We're going to kind of cover that Sean Hannity
thing
in a second.
So I'm giving it early.
So, most of us do believe that he was the source, okay? So we're going to go here to Kim.com. Now, he had this hype up, and yesterday, he came out with a statement. He said he had to talk to his lawyers. Seth Rich was a hero. I know that Seth Rich was involved in the DNC leak. I know this because in late 2014, a person contacted me about helping me to start a branch of the Internet Party in the United States. He's from New Zealand. He called himself Panda. I now know that Panda was Seth Rich. Panda advised me that he was working on voter analytics tools and other technologies that the Internet Party may find helpful. I communicated with Panda on a number of topics, including corruption and the influence of corporate money in politics. He wanted to change that from the inside. I was referring to what I knew when I did an interview with Bloomberg in New Zealand in May 2015. In that interview, I hinted that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks would release information about Hillary Clinton in the upcoming election. The Rich family has reached out to me to ask that I be sensitive to their loss in my public comments. That request is entirely reasonable. I have consulted with my lawyers. I accept that my full statement should be provided to the authorities, and I'm prepared to do that so that there can be a full investigation. My lawyers will speak with the authorities regarding the proper process. If my evidence is required to be given in the United States, I would be prepared to do so if appropriate arrangements are made. Basically, if I go to America, can I go back home?
Right.
And so he says, and then the truth will come out. So this is like his bombshell thing, but he is saying he's the evidence. So when we go over here to Sean Hannity, I'm just going to go to his Twitter page for you for a second to kind of give you a little timeline of what has been unfolding. So he jumped on this. He came out with a full story on Seth Rich, and then all of a sudden he was ridiculed and he was attacked by like internet bots.
Right.
Internet bots that are paid, like paid trolls or whatever. There's a link in that. Sorry, I don't think I brought that up. Justice for Seth Rich in one of my groups, but it showed that certain people were being paid like $4,000 or $5,000 bi-weekly to just tweet these out. And Media Matters is such a shill for this left-wing evil propaganda. So he goes on. I'm going to start with some of it where he says, there's so many different things. Like, Media Matters is hoping advertisers will give into the pressure and they will silence freedom of speech. Liberals, do you support this effort? So there's been this huge campaign, and then there's been this alternative campaign on Twitter, and the people who are calling the companies to not boycott, and then Media Matters is making you try to boycott, because basically we understand that in order to have a television show, it's paid through advertisers.
But we also understand that the companies, whatever companies we're talking about, most of them are probably drug companies, they're all controlled by the New World Order. And the New World Order has an agenda, and so they are very quick to pull advertisement from things that they don't want. That's how they control us.
Right.
Okay, they're trying to censor by pulling advertising.
So he spoke to the advertisers, and they said that they are being inundated with emails to stop advertising my show. This is Soros, Clinton, Brock, liberal fascism, and Brock is this insider that's connected to, I think his name is Bauman. He's the family spokesman. So he says, to all my friends, today George Soros and Hillary Clinton supported Media Matters is targeting all my advertisers, trying to get me fired. This is a big deal. A media outlet that actually investigated the truth when we pointed out an error. Thank you to all my irredeemable friends. Very humbling, because there's a lot going on right now. I stand with Hannity, hashtag Hannity. And why is it important that we're covering Hannity? Because Hannity is right now the biggest mainstream media talking about this. Right. You also have, which is funny, this is a McDonough Brazil article. I'm not sure if I have this one up. So, which is funny, because I know that most of the progressive people who want Seth Rich to have justice, can't stand people like Newt Gingrich or Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity.
Or Tucker Carlson.
When we're talking about crossing politics lines, I personally don't like Rush Limbaugh myself.
I don't really even care very much for Sean Hannity.
Exactly, but if somebody is going to be speaking out on the truth, this is what's called, okay, if there's a serious issue such as this, like our whole humanity is hinging on it, and somebody is speaking out, then you have to back and support them, even if you don't like them personally, or like everything that they say.
Right.
And that's what's really important. Brock Group sets $40 million budget to fight Trump, so it's like these huge anti-Trumpers going out. Soros affiliated Media Matters. It says it calls off Fox News attack, but Fox News is like, it's slipping in the ratings because they got rid of
Kelly.
Not Melly. No, she left on her own.
Okay, good.
What's his face? Bill O'Reilly. Okay, and so setting out to take Sean Hannity. Basically, Fox News is this little niche, and I don't really like it per se. But it gives you a taste in mainstream media of slight truth.
They have to play both sides.
They need to take down Fox News because Fox News got Trump elected and is anti-deep state. So anyways, he says, let's see. He gives, sorry, there's a lot of information here. I'm trying to get it all together for you guys. So let me just give you his, let's see if I have it up here. His little statement here. I'm gonna get to it. Here we go. Oh, wow.
I'm going to stop doing my job.
We'll start it over.
Okay.
Audience, which is very important. Please do not interpret what I'm saying tonight to mean anything. Don't read into this. I promise you I am not going to stop doing my job. To the extent of my ability, I am not going to stop trying to find the truth. That's what we do here every single day. That effort is not stopping in any way, shape, matter, or form. I am continuing the work that I promised to do every day for you, and at the proper time, we shall continue and talk a lot more. As for my job here at the Fox News Channel, there is an effort now abound to silence me. Media Matters is attacking my advertising base. That is what we have called in this program liberal fascism, attack, boycott, all in an effort to silence conservatives. I serve at the pleasure of the Fox News Channel, and I am here to do my job every night. I'm under contract, as long as they seem to want me. Coming up, Deputy.
So
I think that was really telling, the way he was like, listen, as far as is in his power, he's
Right.
going to keep doing his job. Meaning there are forces outside of his power.
Right.
You know, like literally, then that's the beauty of us being independent. Obviously, we're not getting paid big bucks, and we don't have millions and millions of viewers. But we don't have anybody telling us what we can and cannot say.
Exactly.
If YouTube chooses to pull our advertisers, we can actually still get our videos out to you without. It doesn't matter, like, and they already are. They do that. We don't make any money doing this.
Exactly.
But Hannity, if they pull his advertisers, he's not on Fox News anymore.
Right.
He's not on the cable. It's not coming through the screen. And most of the people that watch Sean Hannity don't get onto YouTube. So
Right.
there wouldn't be that avenue for those viewer base to see him anymore.
Right. So the DNC media and John Podesta blocked discussion of Seth Rich murder, even using bots to trash Hannity on the Rich coverage. So the mainstream media is pushing invalidated, unsubstantiated, and crazy conspiracy stories about President Trump colluding with Russia to win last year's election. But the liberal media won't touch the story about the former DNC staffer, Seth Rich, being gunned down in Washington last year. Democrats and their media continue to push the false tale that Trump worked with Russia to steal the 2016 president's election. This lie is being promoted on all media outlets
Right.
as a matter of fact, even though there's no evidence. And so then when we talk about Seth Rich, they're like, you're a conspiracy theorist. You have no evidence whatsoever. But we have testimony. We have people who are coming out saying that they know. These aren't even leaks, right? These aren't even sources. I have a source who says, right?
It's a source with a name, as they have all these anonymous sources.
Democrats and the mainstream media have argued that Trump somehow supplied the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. I have to tell you, first of all, they weren't. It just doesn't make sense that Trump would use the DNC emails. That's small fries. This was done by a DNC, a Democrat, wishing to expose
The corruption
within the party itself.
Right.
It wasn't enough. This wasn't enough to take down Hillary Clinton.
Right.
It was stupid. I mean, this was done by somebody who wanted to expose what was going on inside the DNC. So the emails did contain information that showed unethical, but maybe not criminal actions by John Podesta and Hillary Clinton before the campaign. But there's no information to date that proves that the emails released were in any way false or made up. Hillary Clinton's creepy former campaign manager, John Podesta, has a history of seedy and alleged illegal activity, and we've covered that. The WikiLeaks emails provided that the Clinton that the Clinton campaign was in cahoots with the media. At least 65 mainstream media reporters were meeting with and or coordinating offline with the top Hillary advisors.
There's no surprise there, though.
They had already planned. Hillary Clinton was going to be the candidate no matter what. We do know for a fact that Bernie Sanders was just given a little platform because they had to make it look like she was debating somebody, anybody, and they let it be Bernie Sanders because they knew that he wouldn't get enough people behind him.
It says that the emails also show that as early as December 2015, Podesta discussed using Trump's bromance with Putin as a potential for slandering Trump.
And he wasn't even like on the radar then to be, a candidate. So, and then again in April 2016, Podesta was busy conjuring up a Russian smear campaign against then candidate Trump. He says, we don't have a ton on sixes, but the pro-Russia stuff ties in pretty well to the idea that Trump is too friendly with Putin and weak on Russia. I mean, you guys, if this isn't enough for you, I don't know what is. The day after Hillary's loss to President Trump, it is reported that Podesta and the Clinton campaign put the Trump-Russian smear campaign into full swing. And so then they had to tie the whole thing back to
there literally was no collusion between Trump and Russia, and the fact that it is all indelibly marked in our brains shows us that this was a full-on, full-front assault on our minds through the media to get us to believe a false lie.
And there's a full-on assault to get us all to stop. Like if you Google Seth Rich, all the mainstream media says crazy conspiracy theorists, la la la, and they're bringing in his family. What you accuse somebody else of is what you're guilty of, and they're like, you're using his family. No, we're not even talking about his family. Right. We're talking about him. You're actually using his family. Bingo. Which is sick. You're a sick set of people. You're so sick.
You sickos. You sickity sick.
I'm sick. So even like Rod Wheeler, the guy who came out as the investigator, he's kind of walking things back. I gotta tell you, they got stuff on everybody.
Right.
But
they're gonna pull up that you cheated on your SAT or
sure.
something from back in like 1965. That is what they got stuff. It doesn't matter if you picked your nose and you ate your booger. They gonna find it. And it's gonna be on film somewhere. They're gonna use it against you.
So
that is what they will do.
On Twitter, some people were trying to get his emails hacked so they could get to them. But the question is, people want to know, why did he have an encrypted email? It shows that he took
steps to protect himself with the DNC leaks.
So there was that, and then let's see, Donna Brazile, right here she is, this little Chica Wika. Donna Brazile warned off Private Eye on Seth Rich murder. Former Democrat National Committee interim chairwoman, the one who gave Hillary Clinton the questions, and she lied about it. And then when
we
she
should
was
totally
caught,
trust her.
she's like,
for sure.
she's like, I'm a good Christian woman. I don't lie. Well, you know what? You
Liar.
ain't no Christian woman. I'll tell you what, crazy lady. Anyways, she allegedly called the police and the family of the murdered DNC staffer Seth Rich and demanded to know why a private investigator was snooping into Rich's death. The Private Eye. I know that she could. Hi,
touching you.
I know for sure that she has the capability to cover up murder. You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
And she said the high-ranking DNC official that called the police after I inquired about Rich's case was Donna Brazile. That's Rod Wheeler. Why shouldn't I reveal who it was? Brazile was also a CNN contributor and a Hillary for America donor at the time, was caught providing Democratic Party Hillary Clinton with questions. So obviously this is he said, she said, so I can't put this in the fact category. But it's obviously kind of could be definitely, true. And the evidence is piling up that Seth Rich leaked the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. It's becoming more and more difficult to write the Seth Rich murder off as just a conspiracy theory. So last weekend, 2 more voices spoke up claiming insider knowledge, and we talked about Kim Dotcom, a friend of Assange and founder of Mega Upload, said he was involved. And then, let's see, there was, dear Rush Limbaugh, one day I will tell you on your show what really happened. It will be a very entertaining hour, and that was in March. A second person came forward last weekend, anonymously posting on the Poll political channel of social media, Bulletin Board 4chan. They said that many in the DC know that Rich leaked the emails, but were afraid to come forward. The anonymous person said that the DNC is terrified. In a second post, the person hints that the labor organization SEIU knows something about his death. The amateur sleuths posting on 4chan and Reddit found accounts that belonged to Rich. They were fairly easy to identify due to his unique personality quirks. They had names like Panda for Progress. His posts reflected his preference for Sanders in the election. They also reveal his disappointment with the Democrats' rigged party system. Strangely, his posts have been edited since his accounts were discovered. His email address was removed from one post. Notably, the email address identified the anonymous account as his. The owners of Pandas for Bernie account issued a statement on Monday asserting they are not affiliated with Rich. We may not be Seth Rich, but we can do justice to his life by extending the effects of his work, by honoring the courage of whistleblowers. So the account indicates that some of the people behind the account are active participants in Justice for Seth, an effort trying to solve his murder. The amateur sleuths on the bulletin boards have put together many revealing pieces of information related to the DNC emails. So the question is, the police report showed that at least 3 of the responding officers wore body cameras. Where is that footage?
That's such a huge question.
Right. The Rich was alive when they appeared at the scene. The EMTs who treated him told Rich's parents later that they were surprised that he did not live. Rich acted confused, however, because when he was asked where he lived, he gave a previous address. Someone claiming to be a doctor who treated Rich after he was taken to the hospital posted an anonymous comment on Reddit. The commenter asserted that Rich's condition was stable at the hospital, but then medical staff was told not to attend him. Now,
guys, this is so classic, like, movie stuff.
Okay, so this was the biggest bombshell. Now, I don't know if this is for real or not, but that's why I wanted to make it its own thing.
Okay, we'll make it its own thing. All right, so we're going to sign off here because we're already at super long. All right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We love you, God loves you, and God bless.
I was cold all alone, no place for home every day, so afraid, but you called my name.